Well, hey there. Welcome back to the Equitable Money Project, where we talk all things small business finance and how to keep more money in your pocket. If you're new here, I'm Meg Wheeler, and I am a CPA and small business owner just like you. Now, let's talk about something most of us avoid, like awkward family reunions, retirement savings. But before we dive deep, let me break down something super important that most people do not understand. Retirement plans actually come in three big buckets. The first bucket are the employer-sponsored plans. Now, these are your traditional 401ks, the ones where big companies may match your contributions, or 403bs if you're in a nonprofit. But for most of us entrepreneurs, that's not our world. Now, the second bucket are plans that anyone can get. These would be Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs. These you can get whether or not you're working a side hustle, running a business, climbing the corporate ladder. As long as you have earned income, you can open one of those retirement accounts. And the third bucket are those self-employed plans. Now, these are for entrepreneurs just like us. Solo 401ks, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs. These are retirement options specifically designed for independent business owners and small teams. So today we're going to focus on those self-employed plans because let's be real, when you're creating your own path, you need retirement strategies that are designed for business owners just like you. Whether you're running a food truck or a consulting business or an online shop, retirement planning isn't just for corporate folks with cushy 401ks. It's for you, brave entrepreneurs who are creating jobs, serving communities, and making magic happen every single day. And we need to make sure we're preparing for our futures. So let's break down some retirement savings options that won't make your head spin and might just save your financial bacon. Okay, so option number one, solo 401k. This is one of my favorite options. This is like the superhero retirement plan for solo entrepreneurs and for small business owners who don't have employees. So here's the cool part about the solo 401k. You can contribute as both the employee and the employer. Now, in 2024, that meant you could potentially stash away up to $70,000 or $77,500 if you were 50 or older. This breaks out into, on the employee side, $23,000 a year, and on the employer side, you can contribute up to 25% of your net earnings from self-employment, up to $350,000 of net earnings. Keep in mind those numbers go up every year. Now, this is great for solo entrepreneurs with no employees, and that's because you technically cannot fund a solo 401k if you have employees, if they would otherwise qualify for a 401k plan, which are usually folks that have worked with you for at least a year. The solo 401k is also great for high-income business owners because it has high contribution limits, and it's good for business owners that want flexibility with how and how much they contribute. Now, the solo 401k has a lot of benefits, including that high contribution limit, in fact, the highest of any plan, the fact that you can contribute as both employee and employer, and the ability to take loans from your account, which I don't recommend, but it's good to know it's there for an emergency. And there are tax benefits to this too, right? Your contributions are tax deductible as long as you don't put them in a Roth 401k. And if you do put them in a Roth 401k, no upfront tax deduction, but you won't pay taxes on the earnings when you take them out. Okay, so this is a great way to decide whether you want a tax deduction now, tax deduction later. You could do a little bit of each. Now, on the flip side, the 401k can have more complex administrative requirements, although this tends to be fairly minimal for the solo 401k versus the larger employer-sponsored 401k plans. There is required paperwork if the assets in your 401k plan exceed $250,000. And as I already mentioned, this is not an option if you have employees that would otherwise qualify for a 401k. All right, so next up is the SEP IRA. This is great for those who have unpredictable income streams, and let's be real, who doesn't have that in a small business? Now, with a SEP IRA, you can contribute up to 25% of your net earnings, up to a max of $70K in 2024. Again, that amount goes up. Now, the best part is you can adjust your contributions based on how your business is doing. So if you've had a great year, put more in. Slower year, put less in. No big deal. Now, the big difference between the SEP and the solo 401k is that with the SEP IRA, only the employer, meaning your business, can make contributions. You can't make contributions as the employee. And if you do have employees, you have to contribute the same percentage of income for them as you do for yourself. Now, employees that qualify for a SEP are at least 21 years old, have worked for the business in at least 3 of the last 5 years, and have received at least $750 as compensation from the business in the last 2 years. So the SEP IRA IRA is great for freelancers that have variable income, small business owners who maybe have a few part-time employees who don't yet meet the requirements to participate in the SEP plan, and for those that want super simple administration. Now, the SEP IRA has a lot of benefits. First, it's very easy to set up and there are low administrative costs. And because your contributions can be flexible based on your annual income, it's good for businesses with fluctuating profits. Now, on the flip side, SEP IRAs may not be a great option if you have employees who qualify for the plan, as you'll have to contribute the same percentage to their plans as you do to your own. And sometimes investment options with SEP IRAs can be more limited and less flexible. All right, so what if you have employees? Well, the simple IRA might be your jam. It's like the 401k's more approachable cousin. Now, with a simple IRA, you're required to contribute to your employees' accounts, but it's way simpler than a traditional 401k. As the employer, you can either match their contributions dollar for dollar, up to 3% of their compensation, or just contribute 2% of their compensation, whether or not they make their own contributions. Now, remember, whatever you do for yourself is what you have to do for them. So as an employee, you can also contribute. Contribution limits are lower, $16,500, plus a catch-up of $3,500 if you're over 50, but it's still a solid option for small teams. Simple IRAs are an option for small businesses with up to 100 employees, businesses looking for an affordable retirement option, and employers who want to offer retirement benefits without the more complex rules of a 401k. Now, simple IRAs are great because they typically have lower startup and maintenance costs. They're easier to administer than a 401k, and unlike a SEP IRA, employees can also contribute. On the downside, simple IRAs have lower contribution limits and less flexibility in how much you can contribute, meaning you could end up having to make employer contributions even in tough years. So which plan should you choose and how should you get started? Well, my recommendation is to talk to your CPA and financial advisor, especially ones who understand small business, so that they can make sure you have the right plan for you. And even if you don't have a lot to contribute, don't wait for the perfect moment. $50 a month is better than $0. Now, look, I get it. Retirement planning feels about as fun as doing your taxes while getting a root canal, but you've already done the hardest part. You started the business. You are a warrior. You can totally handle this. Your business is more than just a job. It's your dream. It's your legacy, and part of protecting that legacy is making sure that you are taken care of decades from now. Look, drop a comment below. Let me know which retirement strategy that you're going to explore first. And hey, if this video saved you from future financial stress, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button.